It is crazy to think that The Fast and the Furious is 25 years old. Like, that is just an insane thing to think about. And man, it was crazy. Like, I remember being a kid and seeing the movie and remembering the build up to it coming out, the commercials, I think Click Click Boom was in one of the commercials. Of course, Limp Bizkit rolling, and it was something that was like, ooh, this is a cool movie. Unfortunately, as a kid, never got to see it in theaters, but thanks to the 25th anniversary, they decided, Universal, to do a re-release of The Fast and the Furious. And so, for the first time ever, I got to see the original The Fast and the Furious in a theater. And you gotta say, The Fast and the Furious, because, of course, movie number 4 is just called Fast and Furious, and that causes some confusion. But it was a nice trip down memory lane going back to this original movie, remembering when they were just regular people. Like, in a couple of movies, we are just going to give a middle finger to all laws of physics and logic. Everybody gonna get superpowers pretty soon. And it was fun going back to a simpler time before they were secret agents, before they were pulling off these grand heists and working with the military and working with the police. All of these things happened over the subsequent 25 years since the release of this first movie. And it's just crazy to think about. Going back and seeing everyone when they were all young and fresh-faced was nice too. Seeing young Jordana Brewster, young Michelle Rodriguez. And man, it's sad going back to see the movie and seeing Paul Walker. And it's just thinking about, how he died, thinking about the movies. It's crazy, like going back and just thinking about that again, but seeing him in this first movie, and of course seeing Vin Diesel. And I know in years since, Vin Diesel has, his reputation's taken kind of a hit, but man, you watch this first movie and you will believe Vin Diesel is the coolest person on earth. You will believe that he got some type of aura, that Dom is him. Like, he comes off of that and he carries himself really well in the movie, and I understand, and it's just a nice reminder, like, okay, this is why people fell in love with the character of Dominic Toretto in the first place. Like, okay, the swagger, the cockiness, he is simple. He was him in this movie, and it was just a nice reminder of who Vin Diesel was. It was nice seeing, like I said, all the young people. Nice going back to the original version of the family before we got Tej, Ludacris, Tej, before we got Tyrese, before we were blessed with Tyrese as Roman. Going back to the original core family, going back to where it was just Dom, Letty, Mia, Vince, just asshole Vince, Leon, who I could not remember. I just referred to him in my head as the rat face one until they said his name a couple of times. And then young Jesse with ADD. I'm not just saying that as an insult. It's a point in the movie, but like, it's just going back to that proto family. It's crazy. I much prefer the family that we have, the weird ass family that we have with Roman and Tej and Dom and Letty and Mia and their kids and Brian, who's alive, but not, y'all don't understand. Ramsey and the Shaws, they're kind of in the family, and Hobbs. Oh my God, going back to the year 2000, just thinking in 2001 what The Rock was doing at the time. The Rock was I think this is after SummerSlam 2001, so he's WCW champion, feuding with Booker T and Chris Jericho, and it's just like, who would have thought The Rock was forming and building up his reputation as a star at the same time as the series that would make him and solidify him as a power player in Hollywood was just getting off the ground. So it's just, again, another fun thing to think about. Thinking about where Jason Statham was in 2001 it's just crazy to think about. And it's fun, and it reminds you of, we've aged. All of us have aged. We've gotten old, and man, it's going back to a simpler time. The plot was them stealing not even Blu-rays. This is before Blu-ray, stealing DVD players and stealing the combo TV VCR joints. And it's just stealing the fatback TVs, millions of dollars worth of the fatback TVs that Dom and the crew were stealing. This is just, everybody knows this is just, it's Point Break, but with cars, or Point Break for the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, there's so many beats that are similar between this and Point Break. But Fast and Furious, it had its own twist, and eventually it would become its own thing. It would morph, it would evolve, it would change, it would develop. And it's just, it all started with this little movie where they were just a street racing gang. That's all they were, a street racing gang, stealing Blu-ray players, again, stealing DVD players, and we built a multi-billion-dollar franchise off of this. We got The Rock became a megastar. Vin Diesel became a megastar. Michelle Rodriguez was elevated. And it all started with this little car movie. It all started, all of those things are possible because of this original movie. And it still holds up. I would say if I were to rank the Fast and Furious movies, I think the best Fast and the Furious movie, it's either Fast 5 or Fast and Furious 6. I would go, those would be my top two. Tokyo Drift is better than people give it credit for. I would honestly say Tokyo Drift, it might be my number 3. Then I would say the original Fast and Furious, so the one I just saw. Too Fast, Too Furious. It's not a good movie, but it is a memorable movie, and it's highly entertaining because of Tyrese Ejectocito Cuz. So I would say that would be next. I'd then say Fast and Furious 7, the send-off of Paul Walker, the beautiful callback to how this first movie ended, where it's Dom, it's Brian, they're racing, and then they go their separate ways. Beautiful. That would be next. I would say Hobbs and Shaw would be after Furious 7. Then I would place Fate of the Furious, and then I would go Fast X because of Jason Momoa, and then I would go Fast and Furious 9. Like, it's also, just thinking about ranking them and then just getting to Fast and Furious 9, it's also funny going back and thinking about the retcons that happened, because there is no Jacob Toretto in this movie. No mention of Dom and Mia having another sibling. Like, it's just the story of Dom and him beating the hell out of a guy, going to prison for a few years, and him saying, I ain't going back. And it's no mention of Jacob, no mention of a brother. I also forgot that Dom and Mia, they own not only the garage that the Torettos have, but they also own a little market. So that's another way that they bring money. I just forgot about that. And it was fun going back to that little market spot. I liked Brian's cop boss character, the white guy who was just giving him game and just letting them know, like, yo, Toretto, it's Toretto who letting them in on Brian, letting them know, hey, Dom Toretto, he's the one who's responsible for these thefts. The dynamics of the team were good. The effects, going back, seeing who's in this movie. Y'all know Hector was in this movie. It's a movie in the 90s and 2000s set in LA. Of course, Hector is going to be in the movie. Ja Rule was in the movie. Ja Rule had a little bit part, and it's just like, man, Ja Rule had the world for a while. For a little bit, Ja Rule had the world. So him being in this movie made perfect sense. But that's just it for me. This movie, it is a high edger, very entertaining, very enjoyable. It still holds up 25 years later, and we got a crazy franchise birthed from it. But let me know what you guys think of the Fast and Furious, the first one, and let me know what you think of the franchise. Do you enjoy it? Do you hate the movies? And while you're at it, let me know, what's your favorite Fast and Furious movie? Do you think I'm wrong saying that Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6 are the best two? Are you a defender of Fast and Furious 4, a movie that is so forgettable I didn't even rank it amongst the other ones, and I'm sure nobody noticed? Like, that's how I think that one movie's just, it's the most middle of the road one. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite Fast and Furious movies are, and I'll catch y'all for more reviews.